I would comfortably say that 90% of the landscapers nationwide have no idea what they're doing when it comes to sprinklers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a detriment to our industry because homeowners, think about this, guys. Homeowners just naturally assume that if you're a landscaper, you know sprinklers.
You should. If you're a landscaper.
What's that?
You should know sprinklers if you're a landscaper.
You should know, and it shouldn't. It should be a. It shouldn't even be a conversation. The problem that I'm seeing is it needs to be a conversation for homeowners, and the landscapers need to know it. The problem is it's just learning it, right? It's not sexy. It's not a paver patio. It's not a water feature. So most of your landscapers are literally like, it's not fun. They hate, and I'll tell you this, they hate putting them in. It's the least fun thing to do. It's the most non-visual thing in the entire landscape itself. But it's single-handedly the most important part of a landscape, because without the water, you're going to get dry spots. You're going to have unhappy customers and you look like an idiot. And after that, it's too late. The client's already spent the money and now they call people up to fix it. And it's very difficult to fix it. You know, what's really cool is you can get so deep into it. I remember this, like the only thing I got out of college, literally, I went I got a 2-year degree in horticulture and landscape design at the community college. Didn't really learn anything there that was helpful except for irrigation. I mean, that I learned a lot on. And it's actually fascinating to me because, you know, when you look at the books for these heads, it gives you, precipitation rate and it gives you all this information. And then if you look at each zone of where you live in the country, if I remember correctly, back at college, it'll tell you like what the precipitation rate needs to be in the area that you live. And you can do some calculations and that would actually tell you how long each zone needs to water for the right amount of precipitation rate for the zone that you live in. I'm not going to get into that, right? That's probably going to be overwhelming for most guys. One of my friends in the industry who's since sold his company, I was talking to him about it one day and he goes, let me tell you, here's how you figure out how long to water. You take a tuna can, you stick it in the middle of your yard. And when that tuna can's full, that's how long you should be watering. I was like, all right, that's fair because you're putting in 2 inches of water, right? Over the amount of time. And so there are some ways to we'll say dumb it down, but I do feel like it is a massive weakness in our industry. It helps me sell my services because I can basically say there's just not very many guys that know how to do it. And my homeowners are always like, really? Like, yeah, they just don't know how to do it.
Well, this is a sales guy.
I mean, and I've seen it. Like one of the places I worked for a year, you would think that they would have known what they were doing with sprinklers. And when we got there, they had what they called, they called it the ring of death. And what they would do is they'd hook a 1-inch line up to their manifold and it'd be about 30 feet long. And they would literally put 6 heads on. And if there was enough pressure, they'd add a 7th and they'd keep adding heads until they didn't have enough pressure. Not joking. And that's not the only company that I've seen that does that.
I can name a few bad ones. I mean, when I purchased Marco's sprinklers, we get a lot of sprinkler calls, obviously. So we're darn good at sprinklers, but I'd say 40% of our sprinkler business is fixing bad sprinkler work by other people. And I'm not exaggerating when I say 40%.
And Jeff, I all I can say is I trust that you're good and I hope, because I've gone out to sprinkler jobs where my clients have said, I've called sprinkler repair guys and they couldn't fix this. And then I'm like 15 minutes in and I'm like, well, here's your problem. It had nothing, it's crazy. But I think if you have an understanding of how a system should go in, I think it helps you with the diagnostics of figuring out what's wrong.
That's how I learned.
Right. So anyway, I always have a little tidbit. I did not plan that part of today, but I do think it's important in this whole entire industry to learn how to install sprinklers. I have guys that are in the software around the country. They don't understand sprinklers, so they just tell their clients they don't put them in. And so the clients are having to hand water. Yeah. Well, and to be fair, one of the guys that I have that's in the software, he said where they live, not very many people have sprinkler systems. So they're used to not having one. But what a fantastic opportunity. If you just understood sprinklers, you could change the community's mindset, to put in water, at least dripping your plants.